criticise the argument.
It's not commentary on style.
Or you don't understand the argument.
You can't put an adverb between a particle and a verb.
Oh, shall we consult Fowler?
You don't need to consult Fowler, Diane, it's a fact.
If I were a dictionary of modern English usage, where would I be?
Besides, you're the one always arguing for Strunk as the authority. Strunk's more precise than Fowler. Fowler's more interested in being clever than being right.
That's only when I don't agree with him.
And when you do agree with him?
Then it's part of his charm.
I was taken to the hospital after I was bitten by a spider in my bathing suit.
Actually, a dangling modifier.
Now who's resorting to commentary on style?
My point is, there are rules and there are precedents, and they were put in place to make communication as meaningful as possible. So you can't just go around flouting those conventions unless you genuinely understand them. But she uses punctuation like confetti. She's putting numbers in the middle of words. She's constantly using the American spelling.
Be that as it may.
You can change spell check to Australian English, you know.
I don't like you reading.
Tina Miller is doing GR8. What does that even mean?
I don't want you reading her reports.
She leaves them out all over the place. You can't help glancing at them. Besides, you can hear it in the way that she speaks. It's like she thinks with a lisp. Confusing for the children.
How is it confusing for the children?
She's an English teacher.
She's the literature teacher.
It's all English to them. She is supposed to be demonstrating correct language usage. Instead, she's putting a colon, a dash, and a closed parenthesis at the end of her sentences. How are you supposed to pronounce that?
That's an emoticon. It's supposed to be a little...
It's a happy face, Stephen.
Yeah,
yes, I've had that explained to me. Now, I am familiar with languages that read right to left to right, and up and down. I'm yet to be convinced by language that needs to read sideways.
I'll ask her to tone it down a little bit, but I would love it if you two tried to get along while I'm principal.
Acting principal?
Yes, acting principal.
It's hard to picture you in a bathing suit.
Well, I'm told it's quite fetching.
What's in it for me?
In my bathing suit.
My covering your Wednesday.
Ah, my Friday double.
For my Wednesday double period.
My Friday's a double after lunch.
Why can't your wife go get it?
Because we're talking about buying a new car, not picking up milk on the way home. There's, contracts to sign, salary sacrifices involved.
Your Wednesday after lunch is...
Year 10 biology.
Yeah, because as an English teacher, I am fully conversant in the ecosystem of the billabong.
They're up to reproduction.
But I should definitely take that class.
Just give them a quiz out of the book, or they could teach you what they've learnt over the years.
Oh, you want your year 10s to teach me about reproduction?
On the microbial level.
Here. Amy was using it to prop up her desk again. You don't mind if I bludgeon Amy, do you?
On school property?
Oh, I could wait outside her house.
Knock yourself out.
Embarrassingly, a genuine possibility.
It's ecosystem of the marsh, by the way.
I colloquialised it.
Oh, that's clever.
I thought of it the other day.
Yeah, now I'm not so impressed.
The split infinitive.
I could order you to cover it.
At the end of the 20th century, the split infinitive is widely held to be an error on the grounds that the particle to and its verb belong together. The basis for this belief is highly questionable.
Let me see the book.
In the Latin, the infinitive was constituted as a single word which could not be split, so it was assumed the case would be the same in English. The split infinitive, however, has been found to occur in Chaucer, in Byron, and in Kingsley Amis.
My Friday's a double free after lunch, which means you would start the weekend, 12:30 p.m. On a Friday. Boom! What more do you want?
Kingsley Amis?
Short notice, but I'll see what I can do.
I think he's dead.
Oh, come on, are you going to help me or not?
Yes, Steve, I'm going to help you. And you want to know why?
Because you're a good guy.
I am, Steve. I am a good guy. It's nice of you to notice that.
I pay attention.
Also, I want something.
You're getting my Friday.
I don't want your Friday. I'm stuck here Friday evening going over the designs for the Year 11 production. I'd have to come back.
Could reschedule.
I'm putting in an application for principal.
Or I could take your design meeting.
You're familiar with the work of Pirandello?
Oh, she's great.
It's a him.
You want to know if I'm putting in an application too?
No. I want you to not put in the application I know you're putting in.
In exchange for my Wednesday double?
Yes!
Of course.
Steve, withdraw it.
Of course I'm putting in an application, Diane. I've already put it in.
Not withdraw it!
Yesterday.
Steve, I've got 5 years here before I move to the country and pickle my own prunes.
Is that a metaphor?
You've got... No, it's not a metaphor. We're experimenting with preserves. You've got 10, maybe 15 years ahead of you. The next 5 years will fly by. It'll be fun. I'll make sure.
That's your pitch to me? It'll be fun?
It'll be whatever you want it to be.
You're not understanding what I'm seeing in Helen's reports. If this place isn't run like clockwork for the next 5 years, there's not going to be a Bowen Secondary anymore.
And you don't think I'm capable of
I think you'd have made a great principal, Diane, if you'd taken the job when you were offered it.
You're auditioning for my eulogy. You might just want to redraft that last part.
You've been a great teacher.
Been!
You are a great teacher. Just be happy with that. Besides, Dad, I'm the person you want to worry about anyway.
Why? Who else is going for it?
You know who else is.
What makes you think she's looking for a promotion?
She's already applied
for it. Oh, Amy doesn't have the experience to be principal. What if I spend all Wednesday teaching 10C to not split infinitives?
Whilst a recent object of disapproval in the broader historical context of the English language, the split infinitive has enough weight of opinion against it to recommend avoidance where possible.
Fowler's more interested in being clever than being right. Really, you should be consulting Strong.
Attention school, Katina Miller, Andrew O'Mara and Tan Kwan report to Mr. Lloyd before lunch. Year 10 Commerce and Home Economics students, your ingredients for the lunchtime bake sale have arrived at the office.
You didn't have to do that.
Jonathan Swift?
You didn't have to do that the way you did in front of everybody.
Jonathan Swift was an Irish satirist, essayist and political pamphleteer, first for Whigs and then Tories. You don't often hear Whigs and Tories mentioned in the Year 12 essay.
Or maybe one on constitutional monarchy.
Is this an essay on constitutional monarchy?
No.
You know how I...
Because you're the teacher and you hand out the assignments?
Because I'm the teacher and I hand out the assignments.
Also, this is literature class, not politics or history.
Also a clue.
I'm saying you didn't have to do that in front of the entire class. You could have waited.
Wasn't this your plan, Danny? Weren't you going to wait until I gave you your mark, hand it back with a sticker and a smiley face, and then tell me you'd copied the whole thing from Wikipedia? Weren't you going to make a fool out of me in front of the entire class?
You think it was my intention to humiliate you?
I think you believe making others look foolish makes you look smarter. It doesn't.
Well, what doesn't?
Cruel.
If I wanted to humiliate you, Amy...
Then I'd be humiliated.
You'd be in your car on your way home in tears.
Alright. What was your intention then?
You asked us to write a 2-page essay on a satirist of our choice. I chose Jonathan Swift.
You copy and pasted your entire essay directly from the entry on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You didn't even change the format.
Yes!
Stop saying yes, like I've proved your point.
Well, I did think about referencing it.
I mean, if you're going to plagiarise your work, at least steal from a
One
reputable
little
source.
footnote at the end of the essay citing Wikipedia as the only source, but then I
You
thought...
couldn't be bothered doing your homework and you could just get away with it.
Isn't referencing just another way of taking credit for someone else's work?
What do you think this is, Danny?
This doesn't feel like taking credit.
That's because this is taking blame.
You see? It's the indeterminates I'm having trouble with. Either or.
What if I hadn't caught it?
Good.
Are you doing this in other classes?
Alive.
What if I hadn't noticed, given you a B+ and handed it back to you?
And then there's erasure.
Is it because I assigned it?
What the hell is that about?
How did you think I would not notice this?
I left the hyperlinks in.
Being a lazy plagiarist isn't better than being a competent one.
It's not plagiarism, Amy. It's appropriation.
You're making jokes now.
Well, it is an essay on satire.
So help me God, Danny, now is not the time for your particular brand of charm. What was this meant to prove?
Well, I'm not one of your back row losers. You can like cruise to a C- at the end of the year.
You think that's what this tells me? Because yes again, buddy, all this says is that you don't take my class or me at all seriously.
You teach to the middle of the class, Amy. Nothing too smart, nothing too dumb. You really think I couldn't write a 2-page essay on satire myself? Do you want me to compose one for you, verbally, on the spot, right now? When is it going to be okay just to be smart? When do I get to not care if the others in the class are being left behind? Isn't it better to push forward and give them something to catch up to?
You know, even for a teenager, you are remarkably arrogant.
I left the hyperlinks in as a clue that the piece was a sourced document. Rather than regurgitate the information already available, I performed an act of satire in order to demonstrate the principles of the tradition Swift was working in. I don't take your class seriously. I was trying to do a thing here, yeah? This isn't important. I could have easily drawn a picture of Swift in crayon, except I thought the performance required a certain verisimilitude if it was going to feel authentic.
Do you even understand some of the words you're saying?
Most of them, the others I get like a general idea.
And you chose Swift because...
Reality is the new Lilliput.
Bullshit! A performance requires an audience, chum.
We're the audience, you and I.
Subjective. I want it peer assessed.
Oh, you think I have peers in this class?
Better than that. You're doing it in front of the school. I'm putting you in the public speaking contest.
That's in a week.
Better think of something quick then.
You can't do that, you just failed me.
You'll think of something good.
I have a 2,000-word e-schoolers essay due for Diane in a week.
Think of it as an abstract lesson in time management.
Yeah, right.
And for the record, Danny, the C- students, if this paper or any other I've said this year made them think for even 5 seconds about something other than who's going to be the next top whatever, and you were bored by that, totally worth it.
What's up with you today?
Thanks, Danny. I've still got papers to grade.
You read out our marks in class. You've never done that. You made us estimate what we thought we got before you told us. You made me say I thought I deserved an A, then you failed me. You showed everyone all the red pen. Now I thought
I was a pushover.
you liked me.
I do like you, Danny. I like all of
Is
you.
this because of the promotion? Because you've put into Helen's job, you're trying to show you can be a professional.
What's going on here, Danny? What are you thinking right now?
Recycling knowledge is not a good way to get understanding.
Because you haven't really learnt anything.
Yeah.
Don't just tell me I haven't taught you anything and expect me to be impressed. Show me what you've learnt on your own.
I thought I was doing that.
You can do it better. I expect you to do better.
See, if it said that in front of the entire class, it wouldn't have been so humiliating.
Besides, when am I ever going to need to know in 1862 the city of Melbourne opened the zoo?
It's not about the zoo, and it's Monsieur Le Souet who opened the zoo, not the city of Melbourne opened the zoo.
Oh my God, stop saying zoo.
Mnemonics are about remembering information, so you might as well use them to remember as much information as you can.
Yes, but why the zoo?
In this case, it's not about the zoo, it's a demonstration of how much information can be. Samantha, pick that up. It's a demonstration of how much information can be stored in a mnemonic.
Well, now I can't remember where I parked my car.
You ride a bike.
Better for the environment.
I thought mnemonics would be your sort of thing.
Also cheaper on fuel.
Function over form, the machinery of meaning, structuration.
Function and structuration are all well and good, but I'm not convinced they're arguments for the return of rote learning.
It's not rote, it's mnemonic.
Of course it's rote. It's repetition of decontextualized information.
Oh, here we go.
Which is essentially meaningless. The repetition robs the information of its meaning. These are tiny little tears you're putting in your students' ability to interpret the world, Diane. They will ultimately manifest as either a low-grade neurosis or a shooting spree at a tourist attraction.
It's not rote, Amy, because it rhymes. It's a poem. Poetry is rhythmical and metonymic. It doesn't cause psychosis.
Only an English teacher would say poetry doesn't cause psychosis.
Nevertheless, mnemonics are still just as valid as Socratic methods.
Prove it! Find me any article online, refereed journal article, that argues convincingly for the virtue of mnemonics, and I will buy coffee for a week.
A month.
Are you prepared to buy coffee for a month when you can't find anything?
Are you prepared to buy proper coffee and not that freeze-dried instant stuff you think comes from the rainforest?
What's the header today?
On Google? I don't know, I went straight to JSTOR. Nobody uses the URLs anymore. Is it so difficult to remember the address of a website? I'm a bit over Google, actually. Oh, so you can change the banner on the front page to suit the holidays. Woo, hooray, the internet! But a whole week for the 40th anniversary of the Muppets.
You don't like the Muppets?
The Muppets were our thing. The big bad baby boomers made that show.
So what is it?
Still opening another window.
Why this school doesn't have Wi-Fi?
Oh, well, Helen wouldn't admit she didn't understand computers. It's the same with Michael down in the Metal and Textiles workshop.
I thought we cancelled Metal and Textiles.
When the Summers boys were suspended for making close-arm combat weapons and selling them to the Guildford Privateer Nines, yes. Doesn't seem to have made much difference, though. Elliot's on probation again for threatening Michael with what looked like a sharpened cricket bat.
Those boys in a lathe.
Oh, look. Cute. The letters are cartoon newspapers in school uniforms.
Cute.
See, this is what I mean. Today is the 15th anniversary of the publication of The Illusion of Consent. I mean, what is that? 15th anniversary? Why does that even get an anniversary? Who really remembers Amelia Turner anymore? Right?
I'm looking.
Have we got a copy of The Illusion of Consent in the library?
I doubt it.
I'll go ask Melinda.
You're a bit old to be reading The Illusion of Consent, don't you think?
No, I'm not thinking of me.
Who are you thinking of then?
Maybe year 12.
Parents will scream.
Oh, I'll send home a note. Any parent that objects their child can have an assigned task in the library.
Well, the department will say no.
No, the department will love it. This is a great idea, actually. It's an issue they're facing right now that's complicated by all the soap opera they watch. But this is exactly the thing the department have been complaining we don't do enough of.
It's not on the reading list.
We'll make a submission. What's the matter with you?
It's practically the end of the year, Diane. You're going to make them read something entirely new before exams.
I can be voluntary this year. I'll start up a book club at lunchtime for fun.
Illusion of Consent is not my idea of fun.
Oh, you don't have to join.
Neither will anyone else. You think these kids are going to join a book club?
The interesting ones might.
We're dividing them up by how interesting they are now.
No, we're dividing them up into who might join a book club and who's going to get busted smoking behind the gym.
Who are the interesting ones then?
Tina Charlton, Emma Cawthorne, Daniel Cooper, Adam Whiteley.
Interesting is a list of kids who can spell.
Interesting is a list of bright children with inquiring minds that might want to be taught.
It's entirely inappropriate. The subject matter, the confusion that surrounds it.
You're an apologist.
I'm not an apologist, but I'm not the prosecution either.
What, you don't think
I wasn't convinced. She didn't make a great case of it.
She was 16.
16-year-olds being known for their scrupulous honesty. Look, can we not do this? I had this argument like 100 times when I was at uni.
You weren't at uni when this
I was
came.
at high school when.
Yes, you were.
But every pale, angry waif with permanently damp hair that I met when I went to uni felt she had to champion the cause of Amelia Turner.
Well, I'm going to the library to see if we've got a copy on campus or not, so I can champion her here.
You remind me a little of the damp hair girls, actually.
Do I?
Yeah, they also used to storm off in the middle of a conversation.
I'm not storming off. I am exiting with passion. This is my something important to do walk. You've seen this?
I have. I thought it was your storming off in a huff because someone pronounced a Z as a Z walk.
Has sometimes doubled as that, yes.
But besides, it's wrong. Because Suef only took over the zoo in 1870. That's 7 years after it moved from the banks of the Yarra to where it is now.
Done a little research of your own there.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's in my head now and I can't get it out.
Well, let's hope there aren't any semi-automatic weapons close at hand on the school's next field trip.
And it's not from the rainforest, it's certified organic. That means it's good for the rainforest.
Attention school. At the suggestion of certain members of staff, the school's speaker system has been upgraded. Announcements will now be preceded by the following tone. Henceforth, that will be the tone before any announcements, and you no longer need to listen to me begin each announcement by saying, "Attention school."
God, what's wrong with this thing? You know, updating the school's equipment is going to be my first justification for raising fees.
We don't pay a fee.
Updating the school's buildings, that's going to be my first justification for imposing one.
Sounds popular?
Yeah, well, your choices between Moke and Bowen Secondary are better, safer, more productive environment for your children, or just closing it down. It can't stay the way it is. Helen left this place in a real mess. I mean, I knew there was something wrong, but you read her files and it's like she went crazy in 2001 and just started systematically destroying the school. No wonder none of the grad teachers stayed. She was like Captain Quee, wandering the ship, clutching marbles in her hand. Yeah, get this place properly staffed. That's next.
After properly resourced?
Yeah, books before teachers. No point having the teachers if they don't have the tools to teach with.
Union's gonna love that.
It's not the 1980s anymore.
Yeah, born in 96.
You sure you got this thing plugged in right?
Red to red, white to white, yellow to yellow.
I could have made this process more self-evident.
How can you not know how to plug in a DVD? I thought you were a science teacher.
Hey, there's more technology in one of these things than there was in the Apollo 11.
Hey, you know the Saturn V is basically just 3 guys strapped to the front of a giant firework and pointed at the moon. It's hardly rocket science.
Space travel isn't rocket science.
You're the one who couldn't plug in your DVD.
Hey, principal you're talking to here.
Acting principal.
Why does everyone say that? Yes, acting, still principal.
You don't think it's weird?
You know, it is a little weird.
I really want to start doing this.
Picking funerals at random out of the paper and just showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I should have an opinion on that, mate.
Some helpful advice there from the acting principal.
Oh, well, if you're going to do it, I'd bring flowers. You don't want to seem insensitive.
I wouldn't make a big deal out of it or anything. I could just stand up the back and sort of be there.
And what do you think you're going to get out of just sort of being there?
They're very peaceful.
All that crying and grief.
And little sandwiches afterwards.
It's about snacks.
Sometimes I have those a little deep fried curry triangles.
You're going to crash a funeral for finger food. Danny, you can bring in little sandwiches here.
Okay, obviously it's
you
not
can touch up
about
if it does samosas on a Wednesday. If they didn't, we can put an order in.
Somehow I don't get the feeling you're taking me very seriously.
Well, what is it about them that you find so peaceful?
I don't know, it's like everyone feels bad for you. Even people who don't like it. Bullshit gets turned down at a funeral. Oh, language.
If you don't mind.
Right.
Is this something you just thought of, or you've been thinking about it for a while?
It's a while.
You've been thinking about it for the last few months, or did you just see something last night on the History Channel?
Please tell me I don't look like I watch the History Channel.
Everything all right at home?
Why is that always a teacher's first question?
Wasn't my first
Because
question.
it couldn't possibly be anything here at school.
Is there something wrong at school?
No, I think if you ask if everything's alright at home, there's a subconscious sign you don't want anything to be wrong at school.
Yeah, I won't deny that it would be better for everyone at the school right now if it wasn't something wrong at the school.
Yeah, right.
Also not answering the question, I've noticed.
Things alright at home?
Yeah.
Well, Mum's a bit of a bitch when she's stressed out about work, but she's not burning any cigarette butts or anything like that, if that's what you mean.
And you'd tell me if she was.
I'd tell the police if she was.
Yeah, then I don't know, Dan. 17, your hormones are going crazy, boys your age are close to their sexual peak. Got 300 other kids around you all the time, just as savagely self-conscious. Maybe it's not surprising you want the sound turned down a little bit.
You know, I would pay a lot of money to never hear a teacher say the word sexual peak ever again.
Yeah, mate, the thing with funerals is, though, the sound only gets turned down if you actually know the person that's died.
Hey, you know who does awesome funerals? The Tibetans. There's this village called Lamuso, where they strip the body of any flesh and they grind up the bones with this mixture of flour and yak butter, and then they take the remains to the top of a mountain, and they lay it out in the open air, and then they chant prayers while hawks and vultures and crows swarm down and devour the remains. Call it a sky funeral.
Oh. No, that's going to be in my head the rest of my life.
It's beautiful in its own way.
Yeah, clearly this way's not visual in any sense.
How's that feeling of not being taken seriously again?
Alright, I want to be taken seriously. Here we go. Yeah, there you go.
The illusion of consent.
Yeah, one of the teachers suggested we put it on the syllabus next year.
Which teacher?
I think it's not a bad idea. Wouldn't mind getting a student's opinion. You interested?
Your idea of helping me is giving me homework.
Oh, mate, it's only because you seem so intelligent.
That's below the belt.
Education is a blood sport.
Is that right?
Yeah, look, you don't have to write a report or anything, just read the thing and we'll have a conversation. Let me know what you think. If your parents are okay with you reading.
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, you'll see when you Google it.
You know, this isn't the compassion and affirmation I was hoping for.
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. They only taught me to give out homework.
It's Diane, isn't it? She's the only one who hasn't changed her syllabus since I've been here. Now she's put in for Helen's job. She's trying to show she's not out of touch.
Yeah, also you came to me with this. I was happy standing here swearing at the DVD player.
Which I think, if you will stand back in amazement...
Oh! Ha! Incredible.
What are you doing?
Oh, good morning, Amy. I'm glad you're here. I'm having trouble explaining predicate nominatives to the Year 10s and I can't find my Fowler. You haven't got one, have you?
I said you shouldn't do it, and you did it anyway.
Do I report to you now?
There are hundreds of suitable teen issue stories you could be teaching them. Basketball diaries, property of the clan.
Lolita!
But because I said you shouldn't do it, and God forbid I should express an opinion, you can't help yourself, you have to do it.
I think you dramatically overestimate the effect your opinion has on me.
18 teachers in this school, you'd think one of them had a slide rule up. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Oh, for him it's hi, and for me it's what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Sorry, have I walked in on something?
Amy is questioning my judgment as a teacher.
That's not what I'm questioning.
Then what are you questioning?
Whether it's appropriate to put on your syllabus a book the publishers had to pull from circulation 6 months after releasing it.
Sorry, neither of you has a slide rule, do you?
What do you want a slide rule for?
Excuse me, Dan. It's a history lesson for my Year 7s. You know, this is what a calculator looked like before electricity was invented.
The slide rule was invented in 1624.
Yeah?
Electricity in 600 BC.
Static electricity.
Also discovered, not invented.
Okay, what happened? All I did was walk in the door.
The Illusion of Consent won the Daisy Bates, the Mary Gilmore and the Children's Book Commission Award the year it was published, Amy. It was the first young adult novel to be shortlisted for the Miles Franklin. What's your problem with it?
I've told you what my problem is with it.
You're not serious.
Do I seem like I'm joking?
You are not serious.
Steve, do I seem like I'm joking?
No, you seem pretty serious.
Steve says I seem pretty serious, Diane.
Your problem is Amelia Turner.
My problem is Amelia Turner.
That's not why you're doing this.
Amelia Turner was irresponsible, opportunistic, and a liar.
That's not why she's doing this.
She destroyed that family.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Romans discovered a static electricity.
She cast doubt on serious cases of abuse for years.
Stephen, are you listening?
What? Why is she doing what?
Standing in my office accusing me of being a bad teacher.
Why do you think she just disappeared when they took the awards back off her?
What did you do?
What did I do?
If she was any kind of person, it would be because of guilt. And this is not your office, this is the faculty lounge.
The faculty lounge is over there where the couches are in the coffee mate rooms. There is no faculty, there's only us.
Well, then it's our office, isn't it?
These are my books, this is my desk and my computer, so that makes this my office.
Well, that's my desk, my computer, and my books over there, so that makes this our office.
That makes that your office. There is no our office.
Yeah, neither of you has a slide rule. I might just get out of here.
You're only putting up a fight about the illusion of consent because it'll look good for the promotion.
Please! You think I'm threatened by your pitiful attempt to seem relevant? Too little, too late. The department will see.
You are far too young to really remember this, but turn your attention to an abuse of students we've all been ignoring for far too long.
At what cost?
It's not the issue.
Isn't it?
What are we not ignoring?
Teachers having sex with students.
Whoa, let's not ignore that.
That a 16-year-old girl had the courage to stand up and say she was being abused by a man in a position of power and trust in those days, I think was nothing short of remarkable.
If he was actually abusing her.
But didn't that turn out to be a hoax?
It wasn't a hoax.
It was a lie.
It wasn't a lie either.
Nah, I think that was a hoax, like that Sidney Nolan thing.
You mean Ern Malley?
No, I'm pretty sure it was Sidney Nolan, the poet.
Amy, you're really going to stand there and tell us your problem with it is authenticity?
I have my own issues with it that I don't think are relevant in this context. Regardless of my personal feelings, I have reservations about its suitability.
We're not talking about 120 days of sodomy.
As assigned reading for high school students, the first chapter of Consent has Turner as a 16-year-old giving head in the back of a Datsun. It's practically a manual for teenage sex.
I'm not giving it to Year 7s, Amy. I'm giving it to Year 12s. There's a good chance some of them will have given head in the back of a Datsun by the time they get to second term.
I think most of them are driving Hyundais now.
This is helping.
It's roomy.
Despite the credibility of its author, Amy, The Illusion of Consent deals with a problem that elsewhere was very real and in some instances still is.
What happened to the teacher?
He shot himself in the head on the basketball courts of the school.
Oh, that's a bit of a downer, isn't it?
You're going to damage them.
Oh, Amy, you act as though they're your children.
Yeah, look, I think I saw a slide rule in the geography room, so I'm just going to...
Oh, yeah, go on then, Stephen. If you're so afraid, you might actually get involved.
Stephen, you cannot allow Diane to put consent on her reading list. I will go over your head if I have to.
As a responsible principal, Amy, I'm already looking into it.
Acting principal.
What does that mean, looking into it?
It means I gave him a copy of the book to read.
Well, thank God we've got an expert in developmental psychology on the case.
Actually, I've already given it to a student to read. So...
I think you understand my objection.
I understand your objection. I gave it to someone who I felt was very mature and level-headed.
Who?
Little Daniel Cooper.
You gave The Illusion of Consent to Daniel Cooper.
He's one of the children who can spell.
He's a bright kid. You know, if anyone can handle reading The Illusion of Consent, it's him. Yeah, but if you feel like you can't, then keep an eye on him and let me know if you feel like it's affecting his behaviour in a way that you feel isn't positive.
This is the kind of principal you want to be.
He's looking into it. You were a great help. Stop using my fowler to prop up your desk.
And there's students here who can't spell.
It's not. It comes down to did he sleep with her or didn't he? The rest is just discourse.
Who's been teaching you about discourse?
No one had to teach me about discourse. I've been reading. The discourse...
I know what discourse is.
Alright, well if you strip that away, then the book and the events that followed it are all that's left, and you have to accept them as is. Since neither party is around to defend themselves, this is his story against hers. The book is her story.
You don't think their actions contextualise the story?
Now, who you and I choose to believe is about our own experiences and personal values. The minute you pass judgment, you step out of the text into the metaphor, and the book stops being about him and her and starts being about you and me.
At some point, though, some kind of truth needs to be established.
Why? All the reader needs is the narrative.
But everything that happens colours our understanding of that narrative.
That's because you think the narrative stops on page 157. The characters in Illusion of Consent exist outside the book, and it's possible to follow their story all the way from the first note she passed him in class to the centre court asphalt covered in brains.
Oh, lovely! Very empathetic.
Turning the book into an argument about gender politics is just writing yourself into the story and making it impossible for the reader to interpret the original text on its own merits.
Is Mrs. Stevens teaching you all this?
Amy's teaching us a lot of things.
I don't agree with you calling your teachers by their first name.
Which is a discourse of modern oppression and subversion.
Not everything is a narrative, Daniel.
It's got a beginning, a middle and an end. It's a narrative.
And I suppose you're the only one who can see through the discourse to the truth.
I'm just advocating a return to the text, the whole text.
And the text clearly states that he was abusing her in fairly lurid detail at points.
This is what I mean about rewriting what's actually there. The Illusion of Consent doesn't describe an abusive relationship, it describes a relationship.
A sexual relationship between a teacher and a student.
Between a man and a woman.
She was 16.
You don't think that's old enough?
The law doesn't.
That's not what I asked.
He was in a position of power and trust, and he abused that trust.
Sorry, but this does not read like the diary of a girl who's being abused. She spends a lot of the book talking about how smart he is, how smart he makes her feel, sympathising with how frustrated he is by the older teachers. I mean, she's clearly infatuated with him. And there's not that much of an age difference, really, when you think about it. I mean, he was only in his 20s.
He was 29, which makes him nearly twice her age. And it's not a matter of age difference. There is a duty of care as a teacher that
And you don't think love is stronger than a duty of care?
Oh, I think love, if it is love, can be patient and wait 2 years until it's out of a school uniform.
2 years makes that much difference.
It's still questionable, I suppose, but at least it shows some kind of respect and restraint. It's the responsible thing to do. Now, you're saying publishing The Illusion of Consent is the act of a woman's scorn.
No, I'm saying it's what he said.
And that isn't letting the discourse colour the text?
It's all text. This is his story against hers. His story is Act 2.
Yeah, obviously he's going to call her a liar to try and protect himself. himself. Even if he did suggest they wait, what kind of solution is that? Demanding that she sit in that school having to face him every day for the next 2 years.
You think he should have quit?
Yes.
On what grounds?
On the grounds he found himself attracted to a student.
Yeah, because that'll look great on your resume.
Personal reasons is more than enough grounds to resign. He didn't have to go into detail, he just had to go.
You don't think she played any part in it at all?
Amelia is the victim in this story, Daniel. Quite frankly, I am surprised you don't see it that way.
At what point does she become a victim?
When he crosses the line between appropriate...
Yeah, but how do you get to decide what appropriate is? How do you know? It's not like there's a line. When is it? When he first adds her notes in class? When they meet in his office? When he admits what he was feeling?
When he started to feel...
You can't help how you feel.
You can help how you act on it.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Let's leave that there for the minute. There's e-schoolist essays due in at the end of the week. I don't want the public speaking competition to be an excuse for
Just
you not
because
getting
we're
your...
still in school doesn't mean we're still children. Some people grow up faster than others.
Having sex isn't growing up.
God, it's all about sex with your generation. I'm talking about the emotions involved, what we're feeling, not what it makes us do.
Now, what are we actually talking about here, Daniel?
In the illusion of consent, when does Amelia stop being a virgin?
When he has sex with her.
She gives him a blowjob for the first time. Is that it?
Is this still part of the discourse, Daniel, or should I be getting the school counsellor? Because I'm not
Answer
trained...
the question, are you still a virgin after a blowjob?
I don't think it's appropriate for me...
No one's got the guts to tell you this
Your
stuff.
parents are supposed to tell you about this stuff.
Yeah, well, Mum's whacked out of her head on Valiant most of the day and Dad's back in the sedan.
What was your dad doing in the sedan?
Not the Sudan, the sedan. He got kicked out of another motel and he's sleeping in his car.
Your dad's living in his car.
He doesn't live there, he just sleeps there and keeps his stuff in it.
Danny, has somebody...
Just forget about it.
No, I can't forget about it, Daniel. There are legal implications as to how I handle what I hope you're not telling me right now.
Aren't there legal implications no matter how you answer it?
Just tell me why you want to know.
Alright, let me ask you this. Let's say about 2 months ago I was with someone and...
Who? Was it a girl from Bowen? Where was it? On the ski camp? Interschool athletics? Well, it was that ski camp, wasn't it?
Diane.
What is it? What year is she in?
She's not in a year.
How old is she?
I don't know.
Rubbish! If there's one thing you all know about each other, it's how old you all are. Is she from one of the other schools? Oh, well, that'll get a whole other administration involved. Steve's gonna love
She
that.
doesn't go to school. She's older than that.
How much older?
Maybe a bit.
How much is a bit?
See, you're going to think it's inappropriate.
Are we talking university older?
Or maybe teacher older.
Yes, that is inappropriately older. Are we talking about a teacher at Bowen?
I don't think I should say.
It's too late to develop a sense of self-control now, Daniel. Who was it? Was it one of the student teachers we had last term?
No.
Oh, that one with the piercings. She looked like she'd seen the back of a few gym sheds.
It wasn't a student teacher.
Oh, one of the CRTs. I always say you can't trust them, waiting by the phone for a real teacher somewhere to get sick.
No.
And they never do the lesson plans you leave for them.
It wasn't a relief teacher.
But it was one of ours.
You're not going to trick me into revealing a process of elimination.
Right. This happened 2 months ago.
Well, that depends.
It can't depend, Daniel. Something either happened or it didn't.
That's what I'm asking you.
If oral sex is considered as actual sex,
Yes.
legally, yes, oral
And
sex
it matters
is
how
considered...
old they are
Because
because...
past a certain threshold, it's not sex. It's statutory rape.
If they did it.
They. Are we still talking about the illusion of consent?
This is my point. It's all about how you read the context.
Would Sean Beckett and Shanti Barbash report to the acting principal before the break? Is that better? That noise? Or instead of me announcing, or is it just that I...
Because we were friends, I found it hard to believe about Millie Turner what it took the rest of Australia only 6 months to understand. No matter what she told you, you just couldn't trust her. This is a passage from one of the many books written about the Amelia Turner affair. Written in fact by her friend from school, Hannah Davenport, and published 2 years after Turner's disappearance. This is The Illusion of Consent. This is the book that Year 12 English teacher Diane O'Keefe is proposing to place on her syllabus for next year. This is the book that has already been given to one of the students. Still a minor, it should be noted, at 17 years old. Mrs. O'Keefe makes the argument that the issues covered in the story are important ones to introduce as part of the final stages of student development. Sex and drug use and other social behaviours they will soon be encountering, if they haven't done so already. And I would agree, if it were any other book we were discussing. Veteran historian Neil O'Connell writes, having seen an advertisement in the newspaper for the Daisy Bates Literary Competition for unpublished manuscript of a first-time author, Turner had, from the beginning, set her mind on winning that prize. The politics of her story, she knew, were just right to fit those of the time. Who cared if it wasn't true? Along with the prize money for the Daisy Bates came a limited-run publication of the book. And though she changed the name of the teacher and students involved, the book clearly read as a thinly disguised autobiographical work. And she wasn't shy about claiming the book was based on events that had actually happened to her. Davenport again. Of course, though her plan had originally been to accept the award and then reveal the hoax, the fact that the book was going to be published was too good to pass up. At every stage of her success, Turner had the chance to pull back the curtain and reveal the truth. But she found the praise and acceptance of which she'd been starved for so long, too intoxicating to abandon, and kept on telling the lie. Unable to prove his innocence to a community who had already silently condemned him, unable also to approach Turner to talk to her about it for fear of confirming everyone's suspicions, the art teacher took a large dose of lysergic acid, put a live round in the school's antique starter's pistol, and put it to his head. Thoroughly shaken, confused, and terrified, Turner quietly disappeared and has never been heard from since. It is my argument that the concepts required to form a true understanding of this book, the complexities of identity and contemporary sexual politics it represents, are too advanced for students to properly grasp at this stage of their development and will only lead to greater confusion. Confusion that Mrs. O'Keefe and Bowen Secondary are not prepared to deal with. A long way for you to ride home?
Yeah, Mum's on probation again. I'm going to drive for another 6 months.
You going to make it?
You can ride with me if you want to make sure I get home safe.
You know, if they're using them to practice literacy and numeracy, Daniel, that's a good thing.
Learning to multiply and spell is not the same as being taught how to form thought. That recognition of patterns, what ideas go with what. Okay, so the icon for a family is a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, and a dog. And that's teaching you to think this is a family and nothing else is. Teachers wear caps and gowns. Where's your mortarboard, eh? Never see you wear it.
I don't have a mortarboard.
Billions of handheld machines are teaching the next generation all over the world to think exactly the same way. And you don't think that's the market regulating international cooperation by eliminating difference.
What have you been reading?
Interesting you should ask that. I've got a copy in my bag somewhere. I always carry around so much shit with me. I never use half of it. I use my diary. You can draw pictures in it, write the lyrics to songs you like. It's kind of old-fashioned, I know, but
It's part of its charm. Feels kind of retro, right? This isn't where I'm getting the market stuff from. Obviously, that's all Adam Smith.
Danny.
Yeah. It's not bad, actually. Bit girly. Don't get me wrong. Perfume, girly, still worth reading. This reads like it was written by a 16-year-old girl, which I suppose is unsurprising. What do you think? Did you do it?
I don't know.
Ooh, you think she was lying?
I didn't say that.
You can't believe them both. It's got to be one or the other.
I think he's been dead for 15 years and she hasn't been heard from in nearly as long.
Someone must have. In all that time, someone knows.
Family, I guess?
Yeah. Or a friend.
Pretty good friend.
It would be a lot of trust to put in something.
It would.
You trust anyone that much?
I don't know. Probably not.
You can trust me.
Don't take this the wrong way, Danny, but you're 17.
I'm nearly 18.
The world doesn't recognise nearly, Daniel.
Still, 2 years older than Amelia Turner was.
Look how well that turned out.
Well, it works out better for me than for you. I end up a lifelong recluse, but you end up a permanent stain on the free throw line.
Danny.
You're 31, yes?
I am.
Now watch, as with my Nintendo trained subtraction ability, I calculate that your 31 years minus the book's 15
Danny.
years makes you 16 when the book was written.
15.
31 minus 15 is 16, Amy.
Turner was 16 when the book was published. She was 15 when she wrote it.
I wasn't calculating Turner's age,
No?
which wouldn't matter, except
That's just-
you're Amelia Turner.
Okay.
And now you're going to deny it?
Danny!
I know it's you. I can hear you in every line, every misplaced comma, every double negative. This is you as a 16-year-old, Amelia. You know what, like my own handwriting.
Don't call me that.
Amelia, then.
My name is Amy Stevens.
Alright. Okay. Let's try this. If you can tell me right now that you're not afraid the spotlight is swinging in your direction, I'll drop it. If you can tell me honestly you're not afraid of this book being in the hands of every Year 12 at Bowen next year, I'll hop on my bike and I'll ride away. I'm surprised Diane hasn't recognised the grammar already. Probably why she's so keen on it. Turning it over in her head while she's trying to work. She'll figure it out. I did. Guns a bit, Amy. Eventually it's going to be fine.
I don't like some of the metaphors you're using.
And
Mrs. Stevens.
alright.
That's how you want it?
Attention school, with the students who borrowed the new pre-announcement beeping device from the office, please return it. Just bring it back by this afternoon and no questions will be asked.
So what's wrong with it?
Oh, there's a noise coming from the engine.
It's a good thing. It means the engine's running.
I've looked under the bonnet, but all I know about cars is, engine go there.
And you're a science teacher, you say?
Yeah, if it was refracting light, I'd be a guy, but fixing a car is a mechanical issue, that's engineering.
Engineering isn't science.
Not a kind I'm familiar with. Pretty much used up the sum total of my physics knowledge with the word refracting.
Hey, if it wasn't refracting light, would that make it invisible?
CIA's working on the technology for a suit.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm not in the loop.
So what kind of noise then? Is it knocking? Could be the radio.
Also, the air conditioner button turns on the glove compartment light.
What happens when you open the glove compartment?
Radio comes
Of
on.
course.
So she gets traded in for a new one and everyone can be happy.
Hang on, how do you know it's a she?
Things that travel by land are all she's. Cars, trucks, trains,
Okay, what are he's?
aircraft.
And what are boats?
Big floaty things that travel on the water.
Oh, that's a joke you're doing there.
Oh, supposed to be a biologist, you know.
Well, there's nothing funnier than a biologist. What happened?
Turns out a master's isn't something you just put down and pick up again whenever you feel like it.
Like a BA.
Yeah, like a BA.
So, high school principal is plan B then?
I understand biology is what I was trying to say.
Just not enough to be a biologist.
And no, it wasn't plan B, it was more plan, just woke up one day and realised I've been relief teaching for 8 years. Probably time I stopped kidding myself and just...
Steve?
Yeah.
You
kind of trailed off there.
Yeah. This is awkward.
Would it be easier if I left the room?
Yeah. You know, school should be a safe place for you, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I want Bowen Secondary to be a supportive environment where faculty support you and you feel like you're being...
Supported?
Yeah. So I want you to know that you don't have to feel like anybody's angry at you or that you've done anything wrong.
Great.
Okay, we're clear?
Totally.
Good.
You may as well come out with it, Steve. I saw Diane in the corridor. She could barely look me in the eye. It's clear you two have been talking. We're going to get to it eventually, so you may as well...
Have you been sleeping with one of your teachers?
Yes.
You understand that when I say one of your teachers, I'm actually talking about one of our teachers.
I
One of
do
our teachers
understand
here
that.
at Bowen?
Yes.
Okay, this is a whole thing now.
Look.
We're a progressive school, Danny, but come on, mate.
This doesn't have to be a big thing.
Are you kidding? This is a huge thing.
No.
Danny, this is a thing of epic proportion. This is a monumental thing. You do understand that when I say sleeping with, I'm actually talking about...
Having sex with them. Yeah.
Right, having sex with them. Them implies more than one. Are you having sex with more than one teacher?
No.
Good. Not good. Not good. Not good that you're having sex with them. I mean, good in a relative sense.
Relative to what,
Relative
Steve?
to having sex with more than one teacher.
Oh, that would be less good.
I don't know what good's going to be in this situation, Danny, but I doubt it's going to be the more the merrier. Okay. I'm going to have to ask you some questions now, and mate, hey, you don't have to answer any of them if you don't want to. Really help me out if you did. At some point we're going to have to talk about legal representation.
Everyone's acting like I've committed some big crime. I haven't hurt anyone.
In your wildest dreams, you cannot imagine this relationship is consensual.
It is consensual.
There is no such thing as consent in this context, Danny. There is only, appropriate and not, coerce and not. The power differential alone turns any notion of consent into nonsense. This person is going to be giving you your grades at the end of the year, maybe even a letter of recommendation. They're going to have a huge impact on your future. There is no way you know what all your options are. Hey! There is no way you know what all your options are at this point, so what way are you making a genuine choice? And how is that consent? But not to mention it's unfair on the other kids.
Oh, what? If she's bringing it to class, she should bring enough for everyone.
It's unfair, Danny. It's unprofessional because the other kids are being graded on their performance in class.
Oh, and I'm being graded on my performance in other
Hey,
areas.
whatever you're being graded on, the criteria is far from
Come off it,
unambiguous.
Steve. You know as well as I do that every teacher has favourites. It's human nature. It's the institution which remains objective, not the teachers.
I think while appropriate levels of familiarity are temporarily blurred, it might be better if you called me Principal Lloyd. Come on. Danny, how did you think this was going to end up?
Honestly, it just kind of happened. We haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, well, it certainly sounds like you're ready for an adult relationship. God knows where you'd have ended up if Mrs. O'Keefe hadn't said something.
Well, I've always wanted to see Mongolia.
What's in Mongolia?
Mongolians?
I'm going to make a couple of calls now, Danny, and speak to some people, and then after that we're going to have to go to the school counsellor and figure out what our next move is.
What is our next move?
Yeah, I don't know that until I speak to some people.
You know, there's this Mongolian wrestling Olympics every 3 years. Totally awesome.
Yeah, Danny, let's come to the million-dollar question, shall we? Who is it? What's your relationship with Daniel Cooper?
Danny,
Are you sleeping with him?
he's a good kid, I suppose. I don't see with any of the other kids much.
Amy,
You're actually going to ask me that?
are you?
He still collects trading cards.
Amy,
I can't even begin to know why you would need
because
to
he
ask.
told me you are.
He told you.
Yes.
He told you he's sleeping with me.
Amy.
He told you he's sleeping.
Calm down.
Calm
You're
down.
repeating what I say a lot.
I don't understand. Are you two at a bar?
I have to ask, okay, Amy, it's, my job.
What's he doing telling you who he's sleeping
He
with?
came to me.
Principal, Steve, I thought you should know I'm banging a literature teacher. High five.
You've no right to be affronted right now, Amy. Whatever's going on between you two. No, there's something, Amy. Even if the accusations aren't true. They're still very serious accusations. There's legislation.
Is this Diane?
I think at this point it would be best if we
She
all
doing
just
this?
calm down and discuss some form of legal representation, don't you think?
That depends on who's being sued.
Yeah, let's hope it only goes that far.
You think I did it?
Yeah, I don't have an opinion.
You shit! You think I did it?
I don't have an opinion at this point.
Is this some form of bizarre interrogation technique? Do you think I did it or don't you?
I am absolutely not taking any standpoint until this has been proven in law. This is blue cheese of litigation, Amy, and I'm not a wealthy man.
Or you. It's you, isn't it?
Don't be ridiculous.
This is your way of narrowing down the field. Diane will be retiring in a couple of years. Too late to give the job to her, and you're already in the position because the department we're more comfortable with a man.
Come on.
I'm a bit disappointed in you, Steve. I would have expected this from
I don't need your
Diane.
approval, Amy. I need not to lose my job. I mean, are you categorically denying it?
Yes, I'm categorically denying it. I'm also completely denying it, absolutely denying it, and entirely denying it.
Well, now we've got a problem.
Now we've got a problem.
You're doing it again.
Yes, I'm doing it again. I repeat things when I can't believe I'm hearing them.
Give me a break, all right, Amy. I've been in the job 5 minutes already. I'm investigating teachers.
You're investigating it.
I don't even know how I do that. I've got to call the police or something.
I'm not sleeping with him.
Do you have any evidence of that?
No. How can I have evidence of my not sleeping with him? Your pictures of me not picking him up after football practice. Not getting our pictures taken in one of those sticker booths and then not sucking him off in the back of a movie about robots.
That's a lot of very specific detail.
He's 16, 17, he's a boy.
I have a duty to protect the students.
You have a duty to your staff.
Okay, Amy, I'm going to have to ask you to leave school property now. You're suspended with pay as at the end of this discussion, pending the outcome of, whatever.
You can't do that.
Explain to me how I have any other option, Amy. If I send you back to class now, and you hook up with him after school, then drive off to Perth, and then 2 years down the track, you end up hanging yourself in some hotel room because you walked in on your 19-year-old husband banging someone his own age, I'm the guy they're going to come and ask how you ended up meeting him after school in the first place.
You know what this is going to say about me, don't you?
Oh, it doesn't say anything.
That says you think I'm a pedophile. It says you think it's possible that I could be sleeping.
Okay, let's not get carried away.
I've had some experience of getting carried away with things, Stephen, let me tell you. If you're going to do this, you better absolutely be certain you're squeaky clean, because nobody comes out of these things
I'm going to have to
without...
ask you for your key passes now, Amy, and I'm going to escort you from the building.
You know, I don't think I've had a chance to tell you how well I think you're doing as acting principal, Steve. You're doing a great job so far, really. Just a great job.
You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to tell Steve. I could have told him myself if I wanted to.
I'll tell you to stop. You weren't going to tell him, Daniel. That's why I did.
You're 9 to have drill a hole in that, you said.
Ari, put that down. Go help Ollie find his costume. Now.
Why is that tree made out of elbows?
It's not made out of elbows. It's a tree. It's made out of tree.
It looks like elbows.
It's winter. It's lost all its
And
leaves.
grown elbows.
It's not made out of elbows. It's a regular tree. It was painted by the Year 7s and it's going on stage as their contribution to the show. They contributed the tree.
So why are you pushing it further and further back upstage?
Because I don't want the audience sitting there all night thinking, why is that tree made out of elbows?
All right, all prima donna, is it? Let's see what we've got here, kids.
Actually, we've got 6 characters in search of an author because we're doing Pirandello, not Ionesco, but you get credit for being in the
You
ballpark.
brought me here for a conference meeting.
And why'd you bring a rehearsal, huh? So the drama geeks can be your witnesses.
I brought you here, Daniel, because I wanted to talk to you about the situation alone. I thought he was going and getting his car.
No, that's Wednesday.
Then what are you doing coming down to the theatre today?
Because I value the arts, and I said that I'd take you to design meeting.
I didn't agree to that.
Then who took my biology class on Wednesday?
Oh, if it was year 10 biology, I'm pretty sure they used the time to liberate the lab mice.
Is that slang for something?
No, they actually let the mice go, released them onto the oval.
Those things are $70
They
each.
stood there, hand in hand, singing Born free as the wind blows, as free as...
This is why I wanted you to watch them.
Oh, can we forget about the mice, please? I brought you here, Daniel, because I wanted to talk to you about a couple of counselling options. I was going to say I'd like to talk with your mother.
Yeah, wouldn't we all?
Suggest the school arranges an appointment for the counsellor.
Whoa, okay, yeah, we'll get to the specifics of who we might need to speak to after we hear back from the department. Now, hey, Danny, do you feel in any way that, and you can be, I want you to be honest here. Do you feel that in any way that what happened between you and, that, do you feel like that was in any way caused by reading the book that I gave you? And that's all I really want to know.
And I thought you were here as an art lover.
Oh yes, right, the art. Yes, look at the art. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's some art over there. Oh, over there, Danny. Look at the art, Danny.
You're establishing deniability.
If you say so.
And...
And what? And? Where are we first, then and?
Well, I don't think I'm well informed enough about my rights in this situation to make any kind of definitive statement. I think if we're going to negotiate, I really ought to have a lawyer present.
There's the magic word.
Who else have you told about this, Danny? No, I'm not kidding. Have you told anyone other than Mrs. Stevens, Mrs. O'Keefe and myself?
No, nobody. Should I?
No.
Because I was thinking I'd start with the current affair and the Australian, maybe approach the
No. Okay, now I know you think that's a good idea now, Danny, but trust me...
Trust you? But you're the one who gave me the book in the first place.
Hey, you said the book had nothing to do with it.
No, you just want me to say that.
Yeah, well, did it?
I've been having this relationship with Mrs. Stevens for about 6 months now. Since I stayed back after class to talk to her about the disturbing semiotics of Prince Caspian. We've been sneaking around together since then.
Well, you know, yeah.
How many months?
What?
How many months? 6, did you say?
Yeah.
You told me 2.
Yeah, 2 months since we had sex.
Oh, again, yeah.
We had sex 2 months
Yeah,
ago.
okay.
We've been going out together since February.
There it is.
Seeing each other, you grown-ups.
Okay, no, that's not appropriate. Not in an educational environment.
Amy was on extended leave at the start of the year. She didn't get back until March.
5 months then. Do I look like a calendar?
Did she put you up to this? Is this some kind of tactic?
Diane, come on.
Unless she's trying to discredit me and it's backfired.
Yes, I am still saying Amy and I are having this relationship. No, giving me the book to read was not instrumental in causing that relationship, which has been going on now for 5 or 6 months. Oh, reading the book did, however, help me make up my mind to speak out about the affair, so, I mean, in a way, Steve, you're kind of a hero.
I mean, you'd have to think she had something to hide.
You saw it, didn't you, kids? You saw it, didn't you? Kids, you saw us all talking here today, didn't you? Hey, kids? You saw us talking, didn't you? You saw Mrs. O'Keefe, you saw Daniel Cooper and myself, Principal Law. They're looking at me, Diane. Why are the drama kids looking at me?
They're listening to you.
Yeah, I don't really like it. Can you make them stop?
Don't mind acting Principal Lloyd, guys. He's overcome with enthusiasm for the arts.
Yeah, right. Well, at least we're back on solid ground. I suggest we all just relax, take a deep breath.
I mean, what would it prove?
No, Diane, no more questions.
Unless...
Hey, Steve, what do you think of that tree at the back of the stage?
Tree? What tree is that there, mate?
In the centre at the back.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be made out of elbows?
I got into a fight with Sarah Falk at the lunchbox the other day. I haven't been back since.
Kelly Falk from last year with the lazy eye.
I ordered a vegetarian salad and she served tuna.
There are some vegetarians who eat fish, you know.
It doesn't change the fact that there was a heap of dead thing in my lunch.
And this was your argument?
It was penetrating by comparison.
Oh, and so this is why...
Dining at Chase Sandwich Lounge, yes. Smoothie?
Thank you. no.
So I don't eat dead animal. I don't see what business it is. If a cross-eyed dropout, it could multiply large numbers.
You see, this is what happens when you politicise your
I
diet.
suppose I should be thankful there's a place out here that knows ciabatta isn't something that comes in a mug.
What was your objection to the illusion of consent? Your real objection?
Oh my God.
Because I mean, you're not trying to hide from a relationship with you and Danny, because
Danny?
quite frankly, I don't believe there is one.
I don't want to talk
Well,
about...
it's not like that kind of relationship is impossible. It's a charged place, the classroom. He's a smart kid.
Is this what you wanted to lead
Let's
up
not
for?
kid ourselves. Smart is sexy.
I'm gonna go.
No. Out of everyone in the school, I thought you'd be with me on this. I thought, I don't understand it. This is absolutely your kind of book. It's even got your casual approach to correct grammar. It's everything you're always on about. It's brave, clever, honest.
Honest?
Now, I read The Illusion of Consent when it first came out, after it won the Daisy Bates. Rereading it now, you know what I see that I didn't back in '98? A 16-year-old trying to get somebody's attention. Saying, here I am. Every page of that book shouts, notice me. Oh, I think some of the issues raised in consent are difficult, yes, and they do require a complicated understanding. But I also think, with the right guidance, yes, our kids can handle it. They just need their teachers to be there and honest with them. I want to know what your problem is with that.
We can't always be there.
You can be there when you can.
What about when you're not sure? What about when you're worried what they're feeling and you can't... What about when they start acting out like Danny or like Turner did in the book? It's not the 90s anymore.
What did you mean, I?
You can't just teach them whatever and then send them off into the world. Everything's getting so tense, everybody's ready to sue everybody.
You said, what about when they start acting out like Danny or like I, and then you corrected yourself? What did you mean, I?
Didn't say I.
I've been catching teenagers smart-mouthing under their breaths longer than you've been driving a car. I know what I heard, girl. You said I. What did you mean? Sorry. It's not possible.
Diane, I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
not possible that Amelia Turner is stupid enough to have thought teaching English literature in a high school was the perfect place to hide from the press. Been reading your Aeschylus essay? It's good.
Yeah.
You knew that already, of course.
Yeah.
It's very good for someone in the middle of everything that's going on for you right now.
You're going to accuse me of plagiarism too now?
No? Who's been accusing you of plagiarism?
Doesn't matter. Hey, you know the word tragedy derives from the Greek word goat song?
I've never found etymology quite as interesting as you seem to.
You don't want to know where words come from.
I'm happy enough knowing what they mean.
What they mean changes over time.
That's true, but I think it's more important knowing what they mean now.
Well, I think knowing a word's history gives you a richer understanding of its meaning, but to each their own.
You based your essay on the execution of Agamemnon.
I did,
Why?
so I could compare it to Apocalypse Now,
Which I take was done for comedic effect as much as anything
and to
else.
flag a contemporary resonance.
What happens after the murder of Agamemnon?
Clytemnestra tells the chorus she killed him as revenge for the sacrifice of Iphigenia.
And the chorus remind her that Orestes will eventually return and avenge the murder of his father.
What goes around comes around.
You said as much in your essay.
You disagree.
I think it's a little superficial. You see, this is why context is more than just subjective. If you treat everything as just a text, I think you forget that somewhere along the line, real people are involved. People who have their own interpretation of the text. Interpretations that are probably very different to yours. Now, your argument, the postmodern argument, assumes that you as the reader are the centre of the work, that everything that affects the work is relative to the reader. I think you're smart enough to know that Greek tragedy isn't just a soap opera. It shows humanity at its lowest. It says if we have strength enough in us to have survived all of this, then we can certainly face the littler challenges of every other day and carry on. Tragedy isn't about revenge, Daniel. It's an affirmation.
All right, what are you telling me? You're changing my grade.
Why are you doing this to her?
Oh, this is an appeal to my intellectual
Do you
side.
have a legitimate reason,
Finally,
or are you just
someone's
an
gonna have-
asshole?
She lied.
Not to you.
To everyone.
About her name. About a stupid mistake she made when she was a girl. About something she's ashamed
She's
of.
not ashamed, she's afraid to get caught.
Right, when you're the great unmasker, are you? You're the boy detective who caught Amelia Turner.
No.
And why?
She humiliated me in class. She made me look stupid in front of everyone. Not just the lit class. They spread that around all year 12.
That's certainly enough reason to send her to prison for 15
She
years.
made me feel stupid.
You don't make yourself look any less stupid by pretending to have slept with her. Revenge is not redemptive, Daniel. You're not going to feel any better after this is over. You know what I also remember from Agamemnon? What Clytemnestra says to the chorus after Agamemnon's murder. There is pain enough. Let us not be bloody now.
The Year 10 Commerce and Home Economics lunchtime bake sale has been cancelled due to the carbon tax.
So, your solution is just to run again.
I'm not running.
Danny says you humiliated him in class. Is that true, or is that part of the fiction?
Yes.
Why?
I needed to re-establish
Distance?
yes.
Authority?
That as well.
How did you lose it?
He misunderstood our relationship.
So you made an example out of him.
No.
You lost control of Daniel. You let him get too close because he is clever and he is confident, and it's just very easy to enjoy it when they engage with you on that level because they're discovering all these new ideas and you're the one who can explain it to them. It's seductive having all the answers, yes?
No.
The way he talks, the stuff he reads. He's imitating us. That's what we've taught him being an adult is.
Literary references and clever banter.
Yes!
Boy, is he going to be disappointed.
Look, you've made a mistake. You can run from it like a child, or you can stay here, be an adult, and deal with the consequences. Where are you going to go? Perth, maybe? New Zealand? As far away as you can get without a visa?
Stay out of my way, Diane.
You won't be able to work as a teacher again. When the word gets out, every school is going to be watching for you. Plus, we've got your picture in the school photo archives. Everyone will know what you look like now. So if you're not too close to Danny, then you have to be hiding something else. What else could it be?
I read The Illusion of Consent when I was in high school. It came out when I was in year 11. I went to a school a lot like Turner's, and there was a teacher there who was nice to me. He treated me with... He was the only one who treated me...
You based the teacher in consent on him because he was the only teacher you knew
This is
well
a
enough to
fantasy! A 17-year-old schoolboy's fantasy. Danny's convinced he's uncovered the greatest literary scandal since the hand that signed the paper. He identifies with Turner because she's just like him. I did too.
What if nobody else needed to know? As far as the department knows, you're just sleeping with him.
Nothing serious then, probably just a verbal warning.
Look, if we could keep this who you are between us, if it was just me and Danny, maybe Steve, would you still run?
What's in it for you?
Don't be obtuse, Millie. I get to be principal.
You don't think Steve's going to have something to say about that?
Oh, when the department sends Stephen back to his biology room, his sigh of relief will be heard around the world. It's your choice.
Okay, so I have to give this talk today. It's part of this assignment I've been working on for a week, and I really want to do well, so I thought it would be sort of helpful if I could read it out to someone, you know, practice it once before I have to do it in front of the entire school. Mom? Okay? So, satire is a form of comedy that draws its lineage from the Greek and/or Roman empires. It functions to critique idiocy, fallacy, and hypocrisy. It's supposed to be a tool by which we make ourselves smarter as a society. It hasn't worked if we can all sit around and have a good laugh about it afterwards. Safe targets don't make good satire. Satire is supposed to seek out what's painful and complicated and make it seem so foolish and small that we're no longer afraid to confront it. Satire today exists largely to make celebrities out of satirists. Jokes about politicians and movie stars don't change anything. They, in fact, perpetuate the status quo. Pliny the Elder wrote of 6th century poet Hipponax that the accuracy of his satire was so cruel that the offended often hanged themselves out of humiliation. No one ever hanged themselves because they were on the chaser. With that in mind, rather than simply tell you what satire is, I've prepared a kind of demonstration. We all have secrets. Things we think make us different. Make us seem foolish. Make us seem cruel. Each of us here has a truth about themselves that they're afraid to share. Something that they want, they fear isn't normal. Something they've done that they wish they could take back. Over the last week, I have identified one such secret here at Bowen that I believe needs to be exposed, and I've chosen that as the theme of my talk. A week ago, I was given this book to read, The Illusion of Consent by Amelia Turner. It's a book that's remembered most as being either an expose of institutionalized abuse or a callous grab for fame by a 16-year-old fraud. What struck me most on reading it was the relationship Turner described between herself and the teacher with whom she'd become infatuated. He doesn't patronize her, he listens to her ideas, encourages them. He shares her realizations, enjoys her discoveries. He doesn't see her as a child or as a student, but instead treats her with a kind of respect. That's a rare thing, I think, a relationship like that. Not just between a teacher and a student, but for anyone. We should be more careful with them. Over the last week, I have reenacted key scenes from The Illusion of Consent, claiming to have had a sexual relationship with one of the teachers here at Bowen. I have done this in an attempt to show how the contemporary education system reacts to the situation Turner described 15 years ago, and assess what progress, if any, has been made since then. Disappointingly, the reaction has been much as Turner experienced. Initial administrative confusion and panic, followed by a rapid disavowal of responsibility. In short, the teachers I told first freaked out and called their lawyers. It should be noted, however, that at least one of the senior staff came to the defense of the teacher in question, eventually.
which is to that senior staff member's credit, if not the school's. Naturally, my reenactment could not be completely public, as it had to be played out mostly in private conversations and in closed offices. But in an environment as self-contained as a 300-student school, word gets around. From the laughter behind my back in the corridor, to the graffiti on my locker, I know you've all been talking about my relationship and trying to guess who the teacher is. For her sake, and also because it's none of your business, I will not reveal her identity. I will say, however, that the feelings I have for her have not in any way been reciprocated. But crucially, they have also not been rejected. By exposing today in front of you all the confusion I have about these emotions, I hope I have at least called attention to the fact that at some point, I really need someone just to explain them to me. I think that's something worth considering before this book is added to the school syllabus. The reader is tempted to search for the monster in this work, wanting it either to be the predatory school teacher or the lying schoolgirl. But there is no monster here. There's just him and her and you and me. Chaser sucks, by the way, totally blows. And then I'm supposed to bow and get off the stage. If they let me finish, which I guess they may not. Oh. Any feedback? Did you follow all of it? You don't want to tell me what you think? Mum? Okay, thanks. So, hey, Dad will be going now, but did you want me to get you tickets to this graduation thing? You don't have to pay or anything, they just want to know for numbers. I don't understand that gesture. Alright, okay, don't worry about it, I'll ask you later. But do you think Dad might want to go? Yeah, but do you think it would be okay if I asked him? Thing is, it's too late for Earth. It's not a response to climate change we need now, it's an exit strategy. See, the way I see it, we should be putting all of our attention into space travel. If not interstellar, at least interplanetary. Any way you cut it, this planet's got 50, maybe 100 years where the Earth is still inhabitable. Pollution in the atmosphere alone in 100 years is going to be unbreathable. The planet's already overcrowded.
Statistics on overpopulation are spurious, to say the least. Just look at the studies of population of fish in a pond. It expands for a couple of generations, then it retracts for a couple of generations.
That's right. You're back to being a biology teacher, aren't you?
Yeah, for now. We think the budget can accommodate a new teacher next year. I think it can accommodate a new biology teacher as well as a new literature teacher.
We haven't even got the technology cracked, is what I'm saying. It's going to take some time. Just look at how long it took us to get to the moon.
10 years.
And that was just a 3-day trip.
What the hell are you on about?
Evacuating the planet.
It's just your graduation, settle down.
Most schools do these things at night.
Yeah, well, we're not most schools.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Parents couldn't make it today?
Oh, they wanted to, but they're busy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Why don't you think having a graduation ceremony anyway? We've never had one before.
Well, because the entire VCE class at Guilfoyle Private was reprimanded this year for putting a Year 9 in a wheelie bin and chucking him down the stairs. Whereas 3 of our kids were amongst the highest marks in the state. Simon Chen won a scholarship which has taken him to Harvard, but did anyone report that? No. Just students passed out in the sand, clutching a bottle of Bundy. Diane thinks it's important to mark the contrast.
Oh, I guess it also doesn't hurt to emphasise the graduation rate at bottom.
So pretending to sleep with a teacher.
Especially when you're trying to attract new students.
That took some guts.
Hey, I just put it out there. You guys did all the hard work.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again though.
You don't think?
Well, in half an hour you're out the door on your way to, university. We've got a new bunch of Year 12 kids getting ready to start their final year. School carries on. Did any of what you did have the desired impact? Also, it wasn't satire.
It was absolutely satire.
Close to criminal, maybe.
Satire is supposed to walk a fine
Yeah,
line.
also supposed to be funny.
Not always.
Have you ever even seen a real girl take her top off?
I have an internet girlfriend.
That's super. So where are we going? What bit of intergalactic realty do you have picked out for us?
Titan.
Oh, the moon.
Third largest moon of Jupiter.
Saturn.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Now you can see the rings as the sun went down.
So just for the view, or?
Earth-like atmosphere, troposphere, twice the size of the other moon nearest.
Yeah, also trapped under billions of tons of ice because it's too far from the sun.
This is what I'm saying. Technology. We've got to get onto it. It's time we started thinking about moving out. Which, interestingly, is what my mother's been telling me lately.
So move out.
Where would I go?
Tight.
I open up to you once again, and this is how you repay me.
Looks like.
What's it like living at uni?
Yeah, that'd sort you out. Be like a stint in the army.
That's less encouraging.
I wouldn't worry about it. You'll move home when you're 25. Or you can get a real job.
Sorry, Steve. You only trained me to do homework.
Alright, Danny. That's the Year 12s.